I want to talk about the noosphere. What is the noosphere? What does the noosphere mean? Well, I'm not an expert, I'm not a scientist, I'm not, anything like that. I'm just a geezer that loves to read. I'm just a regular guy that had a spiritual awakening after 9/11, the incident, the New York Pentagon incident, Shanksville, the 3,000 odd people that died on that day. The fact that that incident was a noospheric incident. That incident began in the noosphere. The noosphere is the mind envelope of the earth, because the earth is a living being. It's a sentient being. It's alive. It's a bit kind of out there, this information for a lot of people out there. A lot of people just see the earth as a rock and just, that's it, floating in space. But of what I've learned, the research I've done for the past 17, 18 years would indicate to me that 9/11 was a global incident, because more people than ever before were watching it live on TV unfold. So it was a collective experience on a collective level. So it woke up a lot of people. It woke me up. I started reading books about 9/11 that differed to the mainstream narrative. So I realized that the world isn't what we think it is. So I started going down the rabbit hole. And as a result, I went through my ego awakening, where I started thinking I was better than everyone else. I was having arguments with family members, not talking to them for years, falling out. And so it was a bit of a messy awakening, until a couple of years ago when I left my job. I wasn't happy, the situation wasn't good, and this was before the crash, this was before the pandemic, this is 2 years ago. So, I left my job and went through my experiences. But anyway, the noosphere, let me go back to the noosphere. I began to realize that the earth has a mind, and that we human beings are a fractal of the earth mind. We are noospheric chips, as the great Jose Arguelles wrote about in the book Time in the Technosphere. We are noospheric chips. We are biopsychic chips. We're supposed to resonate with the earth. We're supposed to live symbiotically and naturally with the noospheric sphere of the earth. So like you've got the ionosphere, the stratosphere, the biosphere, and you've got the noosphere, which you don't hear about. You don't hear about that in the media, or the alternative media, or the law of attraction community, or you hear people talk about it, you do, but you don't hear them refer to it as the noosphere. And the human species is going through a transformative global experience. So this would indicate to me personally that this is a noospheric event, like 9/11 or the Great Recession. But can we as a species come together and build a different system? Are we capable of creatively dismantling this industrialized system and replace it with a harmonious, natural, resource-based system? One where we are able to recreate Nikola Tesla's technology. The great Croatian scientist Nikola Tesla, who lived in the late 19th, early 20th century. He invented free energy, free electricity, wireless, harnessing the electricity in the atmosphere with these towers. And he was able to provide free electricity. Like, he was shut down. Look it up. JP Morgan. Do your own research. So we need to change the system completely and utterly. No more private central banks. No more bought and paid for corrupt politicians. And we are currently living, literally, we are currently living in a fascistic, oligarchic system. Will this system go on for many, many centuries, for many decades, for many years? Do we think that this system is going to go on much longer? We need to think noospherically. The noosphere of the mind, of the earth mind. The biosphere, noosphere transition. Look it up. The foundation for the law of time. We need to come together and we need to think outside the box and we need to come to a conclusion of how we're going to go forward. Changing the calendar, the Gregorian calendar, and bringing it to something more harmonious, like the 13-month, 28-day calendar. That is a noospheric event. It's the only way forward. The system's going to keep deteriorating because it's held together artificially. So it's going to continue to collapse. So they're going to try and open things up. They're going to try and get everything back to normal. But it's not going to be that simple. It's not going to be that simple. As long as the oligarchs and corrupt politicians are in control, as long as they keep bailing each other out, for the 99% of us, it's not going to go very well. I mean, there are people out there who have their own communities, very independent people. So let's pray they don't encounter problems by the authorities. We all have to come together. It's a mission. It's a mission, you know, because nobody talks about calendar reform. You've got to be kidding me, haven't you? Calendar reform is nowhere to be seen. Can you imagine the Vatican allowing calendar reform? What's going to happen to their precious Easter? To their precious movable Easter holiday, where they can just move it about willy-nilly. What's going to happen to that? What's going to happen to their precious Christmas under a 13-month calendar? We've got to change our way of thinking, and things are going to continue to deteriorate in the system. It's amazing how the biosphere, the atmosphere is cleaning up. It's amazing how, you know, the earth is cleaning itself up. So will we go back to normal and go back to polluting the environment, go back to destroying the biosphere, go back to pumping free toxic energy into the atmosphere? Or are we going to change the energy structure? I mean, how ironic that oil has collapsed. The price of oil went into negative. So oil speculators were, you know, paying people to take their oil. Never happened in the history of this industrialized, mechanized system. It's never happened before. Big shifts are occurring. Mother Nature is coming back. Mother Nature is taking over. We have to go into a totally different way of thinking, ladies and gentlemen. So, you know, look, you know, just meditate, you know, contemplate. I know I keep repeating myself here, but it's really important. You need to go into yourself, realize that you are an eternal being, a manifestor of reality, right? You have to go in and remember happiness is in the present moment. And just remember, this is an artificial frequency that we're living in, based on a 12-month irregular calendar. A calendar that you have to take leap year into consideration. A calendar where Easter is changing all the time. A calendar where the months are totally irregular and named incorrectly. So it's keeping us in an artificial frequency. That's why 90% of us don't realize this. But it's a growing community. The law of attraction, you know, the metaphysics community, people who just, you know, waking up, people just want to get this information out there. And I just want people to realize that there are solutions. There are solutions to global problems. So you are eternal. You are a spark of light from the eternal source. We shouldn't have to live like this. We shouldn't have to go to food banks. We shouldn't have to worry about being poor. We shouldn't have to worry about going to war. None of this should be happening. This isn't God doing this. This isn't God punishing us. We are doing this. We are God. We are supposed to be noospheric chips. We are supposed to be telepathic beings living for centuries. We're supposed to be galactic wizards, understanding energy, frequency, vibration. So nature is taking over. Nature is forcing human activity to a standstill, forcing people to self-isolate and go within themselves. I've been going through this for many years. I've had a very messy spiritual awakening, and it is challenging. There's no doubt about it. But here we are, a global crisis, billions of people going through similar experiences. It's amazing. What an opportunity. But, you know, the artificial mechanized system will want us to go back to work, will want us to go back to being slaves to the clock, to the calendar, to the account book, pay our bills. We all got to pay our bills. But we need to really think about what the calendar means and how we can transform society by transforming our perception of time. Sorry to keep repeating myself, please, ladies and gentlemen. Very important information. You're not going to hear this very much out here in the YouTube world. I don't even know if my videos will be even allowed. Probably will, because I don't get many views. No doubt if I persist and I get more popular and I get more subscribers, they might start shutting me down. You know, just look at what's happening to Brian Rose of the London Real Army. Getting banned. He's now created his own free live stream. Well, not free, but, you know, his live stream, you know, whatever. I don't know if it's free or not, but it's live stream interviews. His own program, his own apps, because he's getting censored. But doesn't matter. We're all coming together. The awakening is happening. We're being forced to wake up. If we continue the way we are, if we continue the way we've been, which this system is going to keep deteriorating. It's inevitable. It's held together by an artificial frequency. We're supposed to be vibrating at higher levels. So we need to do that. We need to do that by thinking differently. Anyway, people, see you in the next video. Love you with all my heart and soul.